what time it is.
How it all works.
Come on.
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 How it all how it all works.
Come on.
Yes. What's good, family? It's another How It All Works. It's another Monday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. in the East, and it's 5 p.m. out west for my West Coast folks. You're on the, you're getting ready to head home. For those of you that are back at work, you're commuting back to home. Man, go ahead and put it on in the car, man. Grab your phone, grab that joint. And for those that are watching with us, make sure you share. Let's get the room full, man. We got we got a really good friend in the space tonight. My guy Jamain Freeman is here, and we're gonna chop it up with him. We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna talk about marketing and branding and ministry and all that stuff, live streaming, content creation, all that stuff. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I see some of you have already jumped in the comments. That's cool. Let me get my announcements up. You know, we got to do some announcements here. Man, on the channel, just released yesterday, stream pre-recorded or previously live videos in StreamYard. Fam, y'all need to go and check this one out. I know that some of you are aware of the announcement, some of you are not. This is a feature that previously Restream only had, but StreamYard has just rolled it out in the last couple of weeks. And I walk you through step by step all the functions and features of what they've done with this thing. And I'm hoping that you guys will be able to benefit from it. Kerwin Bornell says, first, what's good, fam? It's good to see you, Doc. Appreciate you coming through. I know I think you came on one of the Amazon Live joints earlier today, so I'm excited to see you. You are back in the space. Listen, membership has its benefits, and I want to tell you that we have increased benefits in membership. So for those that are not aware, we're going to put that link in the chat at some point here, but it's buymeacoffee.com/KirkRNugent. That's our membership page. And one of the things that we're doing in membership, right? Number one, one of the things you get with membership is you get free access to the after party. So right after the show finishes tonight, we're going to jump in Zoom, myself and my guest, who happens to be Jamain Freeman tonight, but we do this every Monday. And those who are members have access to that Zoom link, and we can chop it up and hang out, just do that after party thing for a few minutes. It's going to be a lot of fun. Another thing that we do in membership, Kerwin says it looks looking crispy. Listen, man, I've been tweaking. This is a new camera for me, man. The A6400. It's like my second week with this camera, so I'm still tweaking. I'm still getting it right. But yeah, another thing that we're doing in membership is that we have exclusive access. So this video that the thumbnail is, I'm pointing it the wrong way. The thumbnail is on the screen right now. Can you change destinations midstream? Can you change destinations while you're live? I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. But guess what? Video is not publicly available on YouTube yet. It's only available for members on BMAC. And you guys have access to that for a week before everybody else. So listen, membership, as I said, membership has its benefits. It has its benefits. Another thing I want to make sure you guys are aware of, and again, this is another step in our membership program, is the Facebook group. And the Facebook group, we have a study hall once a month. We have a live Q&A session once a month. The after party videos that we record are posted to the Facebook group during the week. So last week's after party with Alicia Way is already in the Facebook group, and some of the members in that group have been talking about it already, and you can find that at the link that Kanique just put on the screen. Thank you so much, babe. Buymeacoffee.com/KirkRNugent. Make your way over there and consider membership. Consider membership, man. Listen, we're gonna roll an ad for Ultra Live Academy. I've been talking about this, excited about this, and my guest tonight, I'm gonna hoping to hear his take on what Ultra Live is and what they're doing in this content creator space. It's such a unique platform. Just excited to see that developers and programmers are not only building out spaces for everyone to use during this online transition, but also for faith-based. This platform is specifically for faith-based, and I'm excited to be able to be one of their instructors in Ultra Live Academy. The Academy starts tomorrow, so don't have a lot of time if you want to get in. Registration closes at noon tomorrow, and tomorrow is actually the first session, tomorrow afternoon. So want to make sure you guys are aware of that. Listen, Leap into Live is amazing. I mean, we're going to go through that website a little later, but man, if you haven't looked at the lineup for Leap into Live, and the price point is exactly where you need it to be. It's like $20. So definitely look into that. Hey, Jennifer Patterson says, excited for tonight's topic. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you, sis. Always a pleasure to have you in the building, in the space. Listen, one of the things I want to say to you about what we're doing on Amazon Live is that Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, we will be live on Amazon Live somewhere around 10 a.m. Central Time. So that's 11 on the East. 8 a.m. in the West, and I know that's early, but that's the time that we've settled on. We're making an investment on Amazon Live, and that's where we're gonna talk about gear. A lot of people keep on asking, oh, you don't do any gear like review videos. Well, I do them, just on Amazon Live. So definitely check us out over there. Would love for you to be able to hit us up there. If you look in the description of the video here on YouTube, you're gonna see that there are several things there. So definitely check that out. Right. Man, we got so many people that are going to be on the show next week. We've got Stephanie Liu, excited to have her. If you don't know who she is, you definitely want to check her out and do some homework prior to next week's show, because she's a beast. And then Heather Ramirez, again, somebody that I absolutely respect. Both of them are. And people that I look up to, people whose content I actually watch because they have that much value to offer. I'm excited to see them both come through and chat it up with the How It All Works audience. Is going to be great. So we're excited for that. We are excited for that. Let me come back over to my other thing here, man. Lastly, we have Jamain Freeman, and Jamain Freeman is my guy. Excited to have him come through today and chat it up with us. So I'm gonna play our intro video, man. We've got a couple of things I'm trying to figure out right now. I'm not really certain why we're seeing what we're seeing, but I'm hoping that you guys are still with us. Restream is telling me that we are down, like that there is nobody watching. I'm hoping that is incorrect, because we really have something special for you tonight with Jamain Freeman and this conversation we're going to have. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and hit this intro video, and then we're going to hear from Jamain Freeman. Oh, we are in for it. We are in for it, my dude. Jamain Freeman is in the building.
What's going on?
We're gonna have some fun tonight.
Yes,
Man,
sir.
Listen. I wanna let my audience know you can't go by numbers. The numbers that I'm seeing on my screen right now says that 0 people are here. 0 on Facebook or on YouTube. But you cannot go. Listen. I'm not gonna preach, but I'm gonna say you cannot walk by sight.
Come on here, Reverend.
Because I see your comments coming in, and I'm like, the devil is a liar. Because this number says 0, but there are people commenting. So clearly something is off. But man, listen, I want everybody to give a warm How It All Works welcome to my guy, Jamain Freeman. It is so good to have you here. Just put something in the
Man, glad
chat.
to be here, man. Glad to be here.
I'm still playing around with this Rodecaster Pro. I feel like if I hit the wrong button, it's gonna be embarrassing. I hit the right one this time, so praise God for that. But Jamain, man, listen, it's so good to have you here, man. So good to be able to have you come through the show. I know how we connected was through the community. One of the things I absolutely love about the Ecamm community and the groups that have formed there, the bonds that have formed there, is it seems like we've known one another for a very long time. I mean, it seems like we go way back. But Jamain, just take a quick second, man. I'm going to throw this question up here. Just take a quick second and talk to the folks about about who you are and your relationship to this whole live streaming space.
Sure. Again, my name is Jay Freeman, better known as the MarketingYOU Coach. I started, let's just say I'm a man of many talents. Thank God. Have you. Started playing drums when I was 3 years old. By the time I was 5, I was playing in church services. Went from drums to trombone, from trombone to saxophone, from saxophone to piano and organ. And so that took me to, becoming a music producer, songwriter, had a song on Billboard Top 20 or what have you. So a lot of people don't know that about me. And then I
Mm.
moved into, I've always been creative. So then I moved into really the marketing side, graphic design work, web design work, and I created my company. I started my company in 2004, Freeman Multimedia, and out of
Mm.
that, since then we've birthed Bluebird Digital Marketing because we saw the need. We would have clients come to us, right, and they would get a branding package or what have you. So they get a business card, postcard, and stuff done. They're just a startup. They're starting their new business, and then we do that and hand it over to them. Then they're like, okay, now what? And so we saw a
Right.
huge
That now
need.
what question?
Yeah, man. We saw a huge need there. And say, okay, well, what do we do to solve this problem, right? Because business is all about being a solution, and a problem solver.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so we said, okay, let's start a consulting firm. So I started Brandtastic Consulting,
Ooh.
and that was helping brands really get started and really get them to making six figures plus a year. And so we did that, but we saw the boom really starting to happen and starting to shift with digital marketing, really the
Mm.
digital platform, social media and all that, Facebook. And then we saw that it was like, okay, this is something we have to really grab hold to, right? It's one thing to create websites and all of that. But when you're talking about residual income and that recurring revenue,
Talk about it, sir.
that model was just perfect for us. And
Whew.
so we started Bluebird Digital Marketing, specializing in different niches or what have you, real estate agents, roofers, plumbers, you name it, local service, type of businesses or what have you. And that's been doing well for us or what have you. And so outside of that, of course, I'm a branding consultant and marketing expert. And I hate to use the word expert, but marketing consultant as well. But
Listen,
also,
we don't do humble here, sir. We don't do
right.
humble. So you in the right space, bro.
And so, outside of that, I'm also, ordained minister, pastor, as well. And so I've been in the ministry for years. Of course, I grew up in the church. I was born January 13th, that Tuesday, and that Sunday morning, I was in the
Was
church
it
service.
church?
so, so that's all, that's part of all I know. That's in my fiber is church. I would have you. And so we launched our virtual ministry last year because of the pandemic. We were supposed to launch
Mm.
our in-person services. And
Okay.
so we wound up launching our virtual ministry for Numa Life Church, what
Nice.
have you. And so that's kind of gotten me to this point of, the relevance with live streaming and all of that as well. And I'm
Ah,
also a husband of one wife. We'll be
yes, indeed.
celebrating
Let them
21
know.
years. Yes, sir. We'll be celebrating 21 years this week, the 19th.
Oh man.
Yeah, so our anniversary is this week.
Congratulations, man.
Yes, yes,
That
and
is
so she's
amazing, man. We listen,
thank
that
you, man.
deserves some fireworks, Doc. We got
Yes,
some
sir. Yes,
fireworks for
sir,
the
man. That's the love of my
anniversary.
life, man. I love her
That's
more,
good.
more and
That's
more every
good.
single day, man. And
That's
we've
good.
been together 25. And so she's given me 4 beautiful children. I have 1
Oh
son and 3
wow.
3 daughters. Pray for me because the daughters are still in my house. Pray for me.
We gonna pray for you, bro.
Yes,
We
sir.
go
Yes,
we gonna
sir.
pray for you, man. Listen,
But other than
it's
that,
some
man, I just love people. I love helping people, love meeting people, networking, man, and really helping people just really excel at what they do and achieve their goals, man.
man, I think there's so much that you shared just in that opening piece where you're kind of just giving people a little bit of a peek into who you are and some of the things
Mhm.
you've done and some of the projects you've been able to be a part of and birth and bring to life. One of the things that I absolutely love is not just the fact that you sought to help people, right? Because I love that. I
Mhm.
think that's a critical component anywhere we are, whatever, wherever we
Right.
go. You got to look to solve problems and to assist people
Absolutely.
in building their own dreams. But the other thing that I absolutely love is that in your journey, you saw open doors
Right.
and you were sensitive enough to the environment to recognize it was time to make a shift. It was time to make a pivot. It was time to open up something new. And this
Absolutely.
is the thing I think in business, a lot of folks, people ask me all the time, how did you know that it was time? How did you know to do this? Man, it seems like you're doing this and this. And how did you know? I'm like, man, honestly, I started unsure. Okay.
Mm.
I started unsure. They say repetition deepens the
Right.
impression. I started unsure.
Right.
And then as I was moving my feet, this is a term I like to say in my coaching class, as I
Mhm.
was moving my feet, I made sure my eyes were open to open doors,
Right.
right?
That's good.
Got to be sensitive because
That's good.
as you start working, oh man, there's just so much to share there. But I'm saying this to you that even as we're talking about, man, we saw this opportunity and we went after it, and we saw this opportunity and the residual income and the affiliate. Oh man, I was like, this is exactly what we keep on talking about
Mhm.
when we're sharing with folks. How you can use these things. We're going to get into a little bit more in terms of branding and marketing and live streaming, and how live streaming is, in my opinion, the trifecta of
Yes,
branding and
sir.
marketing. But we're going to dive into that in a second. Here's what I want to do. I want to throw this second question up here because this is a favorite question for the How It All Works audience.
Okay.
Everybody wants to know the answer to this question as well as your first question, which you answered eloquently, by the way. And listen. Let me just give you permission to toot your own horn. Okay, in this space. Hey, look, we got enough as a black man in America. You got enough things out there to tell you what you're not. In this space, we like a bugle. We like a little air horn every now and again. So let's go ahead and toot away. But man,
I
we
hear you.
want to ask you this question. What's your live streaming / content creator story? Like, you talked about the ministry, but it seems like there was some things before that. There seemed like there were
Right.
some things before that. So we want to make sure
Right.
we get that. And I'm hearing that my volume is low. I'm going to try and adjust that while you're talking. But talk to us
Okay.
about your live stream content creator story.
Sure. I mean, and really, my story really goes back to who I am at the core, right? And so I'm a teacher by nature. I like to teach. I like to help people. And so it really started as doing tutorials and saying, you know what, let me go live and help people help themselves, right? Because many
Right.
times people won't move, or they're afraid to approach you, thinking that you're just so untouchable or what have you. And so
Mm,
I found that a lot of times when I go live, they'll come in and they'll chime in, and I'll say, and now they're able to answer ask their questions. Then we can give them answers. And one of the things about me, and I'm sure you're the
you
same way.
saying you
Matter of
saying
fact,
a
I know
lot
you're the
right now,
same
Doc.
way. If I don't have the answer, guess what? I'm gonna go find it. You know what I mean? And give it to my audience. And I believe that's just being accountable to them and making sure that you can actually help them along the way. And so it started really doing tutorials, and even from a music standpoint, some of the music programs like Pro Tools and Ableton Live and all of that, I would do live sessions on how to use those programs. And then quite naturally,
Ooh, that's
um,
good.
it moved into the branding and marketing as well. And so I began to do that. And what I found out was, wow, you know what? This is not only something that I'm passionate about, but it's also something I can make money from.
Come on, brother.
You see what I'm
And
saying? One thing I
and
always tell people, go ahead, go ahead.
no, no. I was going to agree with you and say that there's nothing wrong with
Th-
making some money.
There's nothing wrong with making money. And I think, especially from the kingdom perspective, when you look at Christianpreneurs, that's one of the biggest
Ooh,
struggles
I
for them.
like that term.
Yeah, I call them Christianpreneurs. That's one of the
Mm,
biggest struggles for them, is getting to a point where they're charging for their services.
yeah.
I'm like, well, how else do you think you're going to get the wealth? The wealth
Mercy.
that God promised us as kingdom kids. How else do you think you're just going to work for free the rest of your life?
Ooh, you
No,
speaking now.
you've got to understand the principles, right? Because they correlate. Many times we can be so spiritually deep that we miss the natural principles that God has placed in the Bible,
Uh-oh.
right? And
Uh-oh.
so,
You turned the corner now. You turn
yeah, yeah. So that's one of the things that I recognize. It's like, you know what, I can make income from this, and because of my struggles, because of the things that I had to go through, right, in business
Yeah.
or what have you,
Yeah.
in marketing, the mistakes that I made. Now I'm able to capitalize on that. Why? Because people would pay you top dollar to shortcut their process.
Oof.
I recognized that. And I was like, you know what? People are paying me $1,000 to coach them a month, right?
Hmm.
Because I'm shortcutting their process. I'm showing them how to go. One of the things that I was real keen on was the steps on how to leave your job, that you are tired of, right? It said, I
Hmm.
think it was a study that said 90% of America, I think it was 91% or something like that, of America are working a job that they can't stand. Why do you
Wow.
want to do that the rest of your life? And
See,
so it was important to me to say, you know, when somebody came to me and said, you know what, I want to do this. This is what I'm passionate about. And don't get me wrong. Sometimes your passions are not the thing that's going to make you money.
Please say that again.
Let's get that right too. You may be passionate in a certain area, and that certain area may not be what's going to make you money. And so
Right,
you have to take that in consideration as well. But individuals wanted to start their own businesses and all that, and they just didn't have a roadmap. And so our God gave me the ability to kind of coach them, say, you know what, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to put aside. Let me show you how to work from the end goal backwards. Right. And
start with
when
the
you work
end
from
in
the end goal
mind.
backwards, now you're able
my
to
gosh.
identify, okay, making 10K a month. How many services do I need to have, or how much do I need to charge for each of those services in order to hit that goal? People don't break it down that way. And many times I think what happens is because they're looking from a bird's eye view, it becomes daunting to them. Instead of saying, okay, this is the bird's eye view, but let me just say, okay, if it's that 10K, do I need 2 clients at 5K a month? Do I need 4 clients at 25 a month? You see what I'm saying? And when you break it down and you can see the numbers, now it makes a lot more sense. It makes a lot more sense. And so I took all of that and kind of interwoven it, right? And say, you know what, I can begin to live stream. And really my live streaming came about, of course I was doing the tutorials and all that type stuff. But if I could be transparent, I was still kind of scared of the camera, right? Music was something I love, but the live streaming, doing the tutorials and all that, because why? You can pre-record that stuff. You see what I'm saying? And so you don't have to be exposed, or you don't have to be vulnerable to an audience. But I'm gonna tell you how I got into the live streaming. Knowing that I had this content, I had a young lady that actually reached out to me. She said, lives, and you're actually commenting and all that. She said, have you ever thought about, doing your own live show and all that? And I said, nah, not really. I wasn't ready for that. Even though I'm a preacher, I've preached in front of hundreds and thousands of people. It's totally different. It's totally different.
And that's okay. It's okay to say it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's
Exactly.
freedom in just acknowledging it is different, right? Continue, sir. You're talking real good now.
Yeah. And so she was like, you know what? I'm a part of a group on this platform called Periscope. Some of y'all may not know about Periscope now.
I remember that. Come on now. Come on.
Periscope was like real huge, right? And so this group called Perry 10K, they actually were a group of influencers and content creators from across the world, the globe. And so it was a monthly payment to do it, but I was like, okay, this is something I need to do, because I knew where live streaming was headed, and I knew I had to be a part of that, right? And so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna jump off the edge and do it.
There it is, man.
And many times we have to do that. Don't be, you said something earlier that I thought was very profound. You said you did it unsure.
Yeah.
But the key to that is you started.
That's it.
You started. I always tell from a Christian standpoint, I said, give God something to work with.
My goodness.
Give him something to work with.
You can give direction to a stopped car.
Come on here, brother. Come on here, brother.
I mean,
if your feet are not walking, how can he give you direction?
Listen. The water
faith without works is dead.
Oh,
it takes
mercy.
it takes action, man. It takes action.
The water did not part until they put their foot in.
Come on.
You see?
Come on, Rev.
Oh my goodness. There's got to be action. There's got to be action. Continue. I don't want to stop you. I want to keep your keep moving. Keep going. Keep going.
And so I joined this community, and man, it was one of the best things I've ever done in my life, because what it was every day, every single day, we would come on, and each person, we would do like round robin. So we would have like 10 people every day. It was about 10 people every day, and we would take 5 to 7 minutes a piece. And so we would go live and talk about the topic of the day.
Yeah.
And so what it did was it really allowed me to hone my actual live experience, the way that I talk and all of this.
Right.
But not only that, it also taught me how to prepare content, because I had to, especially if it was a topic I wasn't really too familiar with, I had to go study it and then the great thing I loved about it was they wanted you to take the topic and then bring your own spin to it.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. So for live streaming, man, it's like it was the perfect opportunity, because I think what people miss many times in lives, It's,
Oh,
authentically
man.
you, being you. I always say nobody can beat you being you.
That's it.
And
That's
so
it.
what
That's
a
it.
lot of times what we don't understand is your voice is designed to reach a certain individual.
Yeah.
And so there are people that you'll reach that I can't reach. There's people that I'll reach that you can't reach or won't
That
resonate with my
it won't.
voice.
And it's okay.
It's
That distinction
okay.
is fine.
And
That
here's the
distinction is,
thing.
yeah.
Man, that it's okay. And I love you saying that because I think a lot of times people don't understand that it is okay.
Mhm.
I had a coach, I was in a mastermind, and one of the things I often used to wrestle with was perfection,
Yeah.
right? And I wonder what people are going to think about me and all this type stuff. No,
Won't
you
die.
got tomorrow. You got another opportunity to get it right. So
That's
whether
right.
you lose today, you take a L, you can get a W tomorrow. It does not matter. I think a lot of times we put too much weight in what everybody else thinks instead of
Wow.
saying, you know what, my content, my story, and my voice is so important that there's individuals that need to hear it.
My
Somebody needs
goodness.
to hear your voice. So
Mm.
don't allow your fear of going live to hinder what you can do for somebody else. You know, uh, to this point here, even if you are just like an inspirational speaker, there may be individuals that need to be inspired. It may be somebody that was on the verge of committing suicide
Suicide. Come on.
and they heard your voice and say, you know what, man, if she can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
Right? They heard
Yeah.
your story. They heard you tell about how you were down and out, how you faced foreclosure, how you faced repossession and all this, and you were homeless, and you went from being homeless to being a six-figure earner. People need to hear that story,
Yeah.
not just so
Yeah.
they can rah you and all this. No, so they can be inspired to say, you know what, I can do that as well. And
That's it.
so really joining that group, man, really propelled me into saying, okay, now it's time for live streaming. And then so when it came, it's amazing, man, because when I look back on everything, it was just preparation for now. It was preparation for even our church virtual experiences and all this type stuff. It really prepared me for that. So I was comfortable on camera. I'm
Yeah.
comfortable
Yeah.
talking, with Kurt, on how it all works. You see what I'm saying? Because I had
I love it.
already
I love it.
prepared years ago and
Yeah.
everything. And so that just came full circle and got me into even like doing the branding and the marketing. And then out of those live streams, now I was able to create additional revenue streams because people wanted more content. And
Yes,
so
sir.
now you do master classes,
Come
you
on.
do a coaching program, you do membership stuff, and it just keeps going, man. It just keeps going.
Sir, I don't even know what to do right now. I mean, I don't even know where to go. Like we threw out the book long ago. We had some things we wanted to share, but you just, woo, man. One of the things that Alicio said last week that I thought was really critical,
Mhm,
and I don't hear, even though we all know it, I haven't
mhm,
heard it as much.
mhm.
But he was saying, he recognizes that there is a need, right, in society for people that look like us to
Come
be
on.
what right here doing what we're doing right now,
Right.
because there's somebody younger who will see you and say, oh, it's possible for
Right.
me to do that too, right?
Right.
The limiting ideas and mindsets that we have sometimes come because we just haven't seen anybody look like us do it,
Right.
right?
Absolutely.
And so this is why you have these folks who break the barrier. Whatever you may think of Tiger Woods, he was the first to, people could see themselves in him. You get what
Right.
I'm saying? Whatever
Absolutely.
you think of, some of these pioneers in basketball, baseball, and all these places, they get a chance to see themselves in those people, and then
Right.
it allows you, it unlocks a piece of your brain that allows you to now dream about doing that thing yourself.
Yes,
It opens
sir.
the door, and I
Yep.
think it's just so critical what you said there in terms of somebody needs to hear your story, but particularly somebody needs to see somebody who looks like them in
Yes.
spaces that they haven't seen us before.
Right.
And that is so
Right.
critical as well, man. One of the things that you also shared there was the the lead in for, some of the things that you're doing at your church. And I want to throw this question up here for the audience, and while we kind of take a couple other things on, but the audience, I want to pose this question to you. Can marketing and ministry happily coexist? I mean, some people are like, oh, no, we can't market a church event. We can't pay for a Facebook ad. I mean, what we're looking at on screen right now in the person of Jamain Freeman is in some respects a walking contradiction. And I love how God sets these types of things up. And we're going to dive into some of this in a second. But I want to hear from the audience in the comments. Come on, let us know for the 15 of you guys that are out there right now, if my numbers can be believed. Talk to us in the comments, man. Can marketing and ministry happily coexist? While you guys are doing that, while you guys are commenting on that, we're going to run through a quick commercial for Alter Live, and then we're going to hear another commercial for Leap into Live, and then we'll come right back to you. We'll show you a couple of different things on screen. Here we go. Have you been wondering if ministries can be successful content creators? Hi, I'm Kirk Nugent, the Geek Speaker Preacher, and the host of the show How It All Works on YouTube. And I want to speak to my faith-based crew out there, my houses of worship, my church leaders and pastors who follow the channel for live video strategy and advice. And I want to talk to you about the exponential opportunities that exist online for ministry. We've realized this throughout the entire pandemic, but the questions remain: how do we harness them? What's the framework for success? Is there something that we can employ that will help us to really reach those targets? And are there any companies focused specifically on this market? I want to introduce you to Alter Live, an online engagement platform specifically designed and built with you in mind, churches. While the platform is for engagement, right? That's the main primary focus. They also realize the same questions that we are. What is this framework? How can we leverage the opportunity that we see in front of us? And is there a framework for us to be able to employ? They created Alter Live Academy, where I serve as one of your instructors. And I'm encouraging you to consider enrolling. In the 4-week, 1-hour sessions, we'll look at how faith-based entities can be effective at digital ministry, building community online, and how to create real disciples, real tangible disciples in the digital space, both around the corner and across the globe. Ministries can be successful in the digital landscape, but there are some guidelines we need to follow, and I want to share those with you in the Academy. Sign up today, and let's make Jesus go viral.
Are you ready to take your content to the next level? The live streaming market is booming, but with so many options out there, it's hard to know where to start. You've heard about doing live video and other video content on platforms like LinkedIn and Facebook, but you're not sure how to make the most of this or how this is going to help you with your business. You're not sure if creating a YouTube channel is going to help you get more customers or it's just a waste of your time. We will walk you through everything you need to succeed in live video with this 4-day immersive virtual bootcamp. We've got all bases covered, from choosing the right platform for your needs, planning an event, recording epic video content and editing it into something awesome, scheduling posts on social media, promoting your videos, and monetizing them effectively. This course is designed for everyone from total beginners who are just getting started in live streaming to those who want to grow their visibility and increase business by creating more valuable content. Leap into live streaming virtual bootcamp.
Yes, man. So many different things to talk about. I've got the website up here right now, leapinto.ai. LIVE is the website for registration for Leaving the Live Streaming Bootcamp. So definitely check that out. I see your comments, and me and Jamain are going to dive into those in just a second. But I also want to show you this other site. This is the Ultra Live Academy page, ultralive.com/academy/Kirk. And that thing is there. There's several things that you can take a look at there. Want to make sure that that we get those into the comment section for you guys to be able to look at. But right at this time, we're gonna actually go through, Jamain. Let's look at some of the comments that we got on screen here, man. Let's go look at some of these comments. Let me see what we got here. All right, so let me see. Let's scroll back a little bit. Yes, all right. Ministry has been marketed forever, right? This is Blind Guy's Wife Their Life. Ministry has been marketed forever. That's how we've had mega churches for so long. Listen, they're spot on with that one. Grab this one. Go ahead and read this one for me, Jamain.
Yes, marketing and ministry can coexist.
And here's a follow-up.
We do it right now.
And the
Facts.
third follow-up.
It's called offerings.
I thought that was hilarious. David Hunt, that's good, man. I see you. James Bush says it depends on what you're marketing. He says he wants to give it a qualifier. It says it depends on what you're marketing. And I would dare say, James, that you see my brand positioning statement says this. I'm Kirk Nugent, and I teach small businesses, entrepreneurs, and faith-based entities how to simplify live video mechanics so they can shine a floodlight on their brand. And for the faith-based entities, that brand is Jesus. And so the marketing piece is, in my opinion, it can be in print, like let's say, I don't know, Paul wrote to a place called Corinth. You get what I'm trying to say. I mean, he wrote a letter, but that's still, in a lot of respects, marketing. So, I hear your point, but if we look at it from the broadest sense of the word, man, I think we can come to an agreement. Grab this one, Jamain. Read this one for me.
Kerwin says, of course you have to market. How else are the people searching know that you're out there? Marketing is key. Listen, absolutely.
Yeah. Kerwin, I agree with you on that one too, man. And here's another one. Grab this one, Jamain, from Gary Jones.
He says, in order to reach people, one has to present something others want to connect with. Marketing to lift and not just take away.
That's good.
That's fact.
That's
good. That's gonna lead. That's gonna lead me to something.
Come on with it.
And that's the thing about it. Is that many times, just like we were talking about in the pre-show, and we were talking about how some people shouldn't be live streaming. There's actually churches that shouldn't be marketing.
Agreed.
And the reason for that is when you understand what marketing is. See, Jesus is he's not more so concerned about you marketing, but he's more concerned about the environment that you're marketing them to. And a lot of our churches are not equipped to handle those that come after they marketed it. Right, you go in there and they don't have. I was dealing with one church, and the pastor asked me. He said, "Well," and I was a part of this church. He asked me. He said, "Well, what do you think we need to change?" I said, "You got to fix your inner core." Mm-hmm. I said, "There's no need to market it." They brought me in to do the rebrand and all that. I said, "There's no need to remarket to anybody until you fix the inner core." Why? Because why would you invite somebody in to see your mess, to see your dysfunction, or what have you, to see your disorganization? And so, and all they're going to do is come, they see that, and now you've given the gospel a black eye because they feel like, wow, the churches, they're unorganized. They don't have things together. Where if you have everything together, now you are presenting something that you can be proud of, right? One of my mantras is, marketing must first become who you are before it can become who you pursue. In other words, you can't market one thing. You can't say I'm a church for all people and all they come and all they see is black folk.
Mercy.
Right. And so people got to see them in you, right? We talked about earlier about, how people connect with our stories. People got to see them in your congregation. They got to see them in your service. And so if you're not catering to the youth, if you're not catering to married couples and they're a married couple, then you have an issue. You have something that you have to fix as it relates to marketing your ministry. And I think many times people miss that.
You know what's so critical there? I don't mean to cut you off, but I think there's a piece that is assumed that we have to have all the components.
Right.
I think as long as we are upfront with people, right? I mean, listen, if we don't have the capacity and the the gifting to be able to minister to married couples, and the other church does, we will simply refer you to the
Right.
place that does have that gifting. And
And to,
that's not a problem. You see, somebody hit me up and they were like, "Yo, I want to do this, that, the third," and I'm like, "Oh man, I love what you got going. I think the idea is dope, but that's not what me and competition and my wife, we don't do that. So let me put you in touch with this person right here." And they're like, "Oh snap, you put me in touch with, quote unquote rival." I'm like, "No, that's their sweet spot. I
right.
have
Right.
mine." And this is how we coexist. This is how we work together. This is why I can have Jamain on and not worry about nothing, because there's plenty
Right.
of food to eat. Even if we do
Right.
the exact same thing, he does it authentically as him, I do it authentically as me. And
Yes.
somebody needs to hear either one. They may not like both of us, but they will resonate with one of the
Was
two,
one of us.
hopefully.
Right.
And this is
Right.
the reason why your message had, we can't look at it from the standpoint of there's too many churches out there doing it big, or there's too many whatevers out there. We take it out of the church realm for a second. There is a lot to be understood. There's a lot to be shared that has nothing to do with the fact that there's too many, the market is saturated. No. You've got to bring your authentic self to it. And when you do that, then you're able to provide something that nobody's seen before. Man, listen, the comments are crazy right now. But here's what I want to do. I want to grab this question. Where are we? 7:42. I want to grab this question. I want to throw this question up on screen. While we still have a little bit of time, I want to get these. There's 3 questions remaining, and we got to get to all 3 of them here. As a marketing/branding CEO and pastor, how do you use them both with content creation and live streaming? I mean, this is the question right here. How do you use them both? I mean, and we've kind of been alluding to this the entire time with the question that we asked the audience. But yeah, how do you merge everything? We talked about bringing your authentic self to what you do. Well,
Right.
these are all aspects of you, and how do you leverage them all for what you're doing?
Right. And so with me, I leverage them by, of course, as a pastor in our live stream, right? Our live streaming. I bring all of this, me having the marketing background. Now I'm able to apply that. It's interesting how everything that I've done, right, from music to video production to marketing, is now coming full circle. And so
Mm,
now I'm able to apply all of that to my live streams for my church or what have you. I'm able to do all of the work right now while we're building, funds and raising, campaign funds and all that for the launches and all this type stuff. Whereas if I didn't have those abilities, if I hadn't studied live streaming and video and all this, then I would have to kind of outsource that and pay somebody to do that, right? And
yeah,
so
yeah.
it benefits me now to have that. And so I'm able to use that even in our marketing strategy. So
Hmm.
doing Facebook ads and marketing to Facebook ads, doing, appeals and all this type stuff. And so we use it right now. We do it for our live streams on Sunday mornings for our virtual services. And because
Hmm.
of that, even when the pandemic hit, we were able to, I was going to wait, to start our services. And God spoke to me, said, no, start now. It's like,
Word.
build the platform now. Again, unsure of what was going to
Unsure.
happen. Right.
Woo.
Unsure. I just did what God told me to do. Start now. And because of that, we're getting reports from Google. And it's interesting. And we were talking about numbers earlier. Don't always look at the numbers, because the numbers never really tell you who you're really impacting.
That's it.
Because let's be clear, a lot of people are watching your broadcast, but they never click into the broadcast. And so
That's
they
true.
never count.
That's
Right.
true.
And so
That's
you
true.
never know that. And so I started getting these reports, and I'm seeing 3, 4, 5,000 people that are searching for our church on Google. I'm like, what? And it's
How?
like, I'm like, hold on. And so I'm seeing all these hits coming to our website, and all of that was coming from our virtual ministry. And
Wow.
so, and then we get in, the testimonies, people inboxing us, people are sending offerings and seed offerings and saying, we love what you're doing. They love the transparency, because one of the things about my wife and I, we've always been transparent and relational people, right? Because one of the things I feel like has happened, and this is going even talking about my strategy of live streaming, is just quite naturally, I feel like in the church, we've created pastors and preachers of these facades, right? But they don't show you the bad things. They don't show you the struggles that they've gone through or talk about those things. And so people feel like they're on a pedestal. So then when they fall, people, it's a real huge scandal, instead of saying, understanding like, no, I'm a human just like you are. My wife and I have disagreements just like any other couple and all that. And so being able to do that and showing that, my wife and I and how we interact and engage with each other on our live streams for our Bible studies and all of that, when people see that, they can relate to that.
Right.
And so
that's so critical.
They can relate to that. And so, me being authentically me for all of these years has really prepared me for this moment that I can say, okay, you know what? We can show this. I'm not concerned if even though we operate with a spirit of excellence, if we mess up, so be it. People want that. A lot of times we try to be perfect, and people are like, no, we want to know that you're real. You know what I mean? And so,
it's like you're peeking at my notes, man. It's just amazing. When I hear you say stuff, I just have to chuckle because it's like, wow, this is like literally with the coaching crew. This is one of the things I was just saying to him is like, people resonate with what's real. So you got to be vulnerable enough to share that stuff. I'm gonna tell you right now, I was watching Livestream Pros earlier today. Doc Rock was on there, Daniel Chi was on there, and Luria. It was Luria Petrucci's show, and they were having echo issues. They couldn't get the cameras to work right. One camera overheated midstream. All kinds of stuff happened, and we were just kind of joking about it in the comments. And one person said in the comments, "Hey, tell us how you fixed it, because that's going to happen to one of us."
Right.
So they took a second to just talk about, okay, here's what we did. Here's what happened. We had this set wrong. We had this done right. We had this loop. And again, it becomes a learning moment, a learning experience for everybody involved.
Absolutely.
But if they weren't comfortable enough to share, like, okay, this is what's happening. Like at the beginning of the show, I was like, okay, Restream's telling me I got nobody watching, but we're going to go on anyway, right? I mean, but then I get that feedback from the comments. I'm like, all right, well, I'll just stick with my comments. I don't know how many people are watching, but I'm going to just stick with my comments. Again, it's a learning experience. People need to see you go through some of these pieces to understand that even for those who have experience and years in it, you can also still have a moment where, stuff doesn't necessarily work out the way that you expected it to. Listen, I want to grab this last question, man, because I think somebody's out there, they're watching, or maybe even in the replay squad, you may be catching this joint and you're saying to yourself, man, I would love to hear Jamain's advice for me. Like, I'm a church leader. I do not have the skills that he has. I don't even know if I have been appreciative. Catch me now. I don't even know if I've been appreciative of the people in my sphere who do have these skills. I may have been abusing them. Talk to those people right now. What is your number one piece of advice for church leaders looking to use live video and branding and marketing for ministry? Like, what does that even look like? I mean, if you could tell one minister one thing right now, what would that be?
One thing that I would tell them is begin to start, right? You have to start somewhere, and watch this. Where you start is not where you're going to finish.
Right.
And so I think a lot of times people feel like they got to have all these, right? And so start with your personal brand and really pouring into those. I mean, God has given you gifts. God has given you revelation. He's given you inspirational words to share with people. And so just start doing, every day, just do like a 5-minute sermonette on your phone or what have you, because you want to get out there, you want to begin to build your audience. All right. And so the more you build that, the more people get engaged, the more Facebook and YouTube will begin to show, you'll begin to crack into those algorithms and they'll begin to show your equipment or your videos and things of that nature, your content. So that's the first thing I would say is, you want to make sure that you don't miss the mark. You don't miss the move, I should say. One thing I have in my marketing book, I said there's three types of sight. There's hindsight, foresight, and insight. And many times we don't know how to apply those. You know, of course, hindsight is looking at what happened in the past and how you apply that to your business, your ministry, your organization right now.
Now, right.
The insight is saying, okay, what's happening right now around me? What's happening in the industry right now? What's happening in the church, in the kingdom right now? And that we can take advantage of or we can use to benefit our ministry, right? And then foresight is seeing what's going to happen 3 or 5 years from now. When we look at companies like Kmart, when we look at companies like Toys R Us, they did not have the insight or the foresight.
Blockbuster.
And probably didn't have the hindsight. You see what I'm saying? Because they didn't see Amazon coming. One thing I can say about Walmart is Walmart saw it and they had to pivot. They saw, okay, Amazon is becoming this behemoth and they have to pivot in order to keep up. But many times, you know, I said this and it's a controversial statement and I'm gonna say it now. I said, especially in the African-American church, I said, if we don't change things, the African-American church to a degree is going to be extinct anywhere from 5 to 10 years from now because they don't know how to reach this. The other generations are going to die off and they're not going to be able to market to the extra millennials or the Gen X, the Gen Z, Zs or what have you. And so
Alpha, all of them coming up. You're right.
All of that. We have to understand that we're not changing our message, but we do have to change our methods. Even Jesus did the same thing. And so I would say be open-minded. That's probably the overall arching theme of what I'm talking about is be open-minded to technology and just figuring out how we can use it. You know, one of the things I said on the post and people went crazy over it when the pandemic first hit. I said, isn't it interesting? All these years I've been trying to get people on live streaming, trying to get churches and preachers and pastors on live streaming. I said, and they was like, oh, I ain't using that. Ain't nothing but the devil. It ain't but the devil. I said, but isn't it interesting that now they can't have church without the technology they call the devil?
Mercy.
And so you don't want to be that one that's got to scramble to kind of make sure you can do church like a lot of churches, probably 90% of the churches were doing last year.
Mercy.
No, you want to jump on board and be prepared for the move that's coming. And so get ready for the move and really see what's going to happening as it relates to digital technology and live streaming.
Man, something you said there that really resonated with me is begin to work on your personal brand. I mean, I was saying this to a group of leaders that I had an opportunity to do a workshop for, and it seemed like it was a novel idea for them. Like, what do you mean? So I should do something? No, I'm the pastor of the church. So what should I do at church? I'm like, I think working on your personal setup, working on your personal ministry or your personal thing, because I think there's the democratization of the internet, right? I mean, the reason why you and I can just set up a show and have these kind of conversations because ain't nobody charging, because we don't need permission. And this is the thing, right? So you can actually just get started. I think that what you said is so simple and yet profound. I do this thing on Friday nights. You know what I'm talking about, and it's like we call it the virtual cafe, and it's basically a mixed bag. It's unscripted, but always a ton of value. God always orchestrates it such that we land on a note where we walk away better having experienced it together. And somebody asked me, in fact, I get this question all the time, but specifically somebody asked me just this past week, hey, how did you, who did you talk to before, to get permission to get started? How did you, man, that ministry is just, how did you, and I'm like, bruh, I wish I could even take credit for starting it.
Right.
Like the origin story was so quote unquote random. Of course, we know nothing is random who are following Christ, but it was just seemingly so random how things kind of just fell into place. And now we're doing this thing every Friday night. But I would never tell you that somebody gave me permission. I feel like it was more of a calling. I have to do it.
Right.
And I think that is what we have been suppressing. A lot of people feel that thing on themselves. And they are like, man, let me go to the church and run this idea past my bishop or past my pastor, past my elder, and see if they'll buy in. No, that's not. God gave you the idea.
Come on, bro.
So
Come
just
on, Reverend.
do it. So just do it. So just put one foot in front of the other. What did we say? We said start unsure,
Absolutely.
right?
Hmm.
Start moving your feet and look at, be sensitive to the doors that are gonna open. Ooh. Listen, I'm done. I know Doc Rockton came in. He's Rabbi
Doc, the
David
man.
Paxton is here. Man, I'm so excited to see some of you guys come through. David, it's been a minute. I think we were all on something together for Ecamm a couple months back, and that was so amazing. Such a great platform that they set up for us there.
Definitely.
The irony, the irony of the devil. I love it. Remember that they did that with the Gutenberg Bibles as well. Hey man, listen, this is a whole conversation happening in the comments here. This is what I want to do. I want to go back to this screen right here. And I want you to take a second or two, Jamain, just to talk to people about where they can find you, they can follow you, where they can
Sure.
support what it is you're doing, where they can tap into what you have to offer. I love the title, The MarketingYOU Coach. And folks, the website link is in the description, both on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure, let's make sure we go there. Let's make sure we check him out. He's got a lot of services to offer: brand strategist, digital marketer, business consultant, but also a man of faith, a man of deep conviction, a man of God. And I'm so excited that you were able to come today. But I'm gonna give you this time. Let me shut up and just talk to the folks a little bit about where they can find you, follow you, and how they can support what you got going on.
Sure. You can definitely visit the website at JamainFreeman.com. I'm on all social media networks at Jamain Freeman, except for Facebook, it's Jamain A. Freeman, or what have you. And yeah, you can follow our church as well at Numa Life NC, NumaLifeNC.com.
Come on, let
And
me
also,
type that in.
yep,
Give
Numa
me
Life,
N.
PNEU,
Oh, that's what I should have known. PNEU.
UMA LifeNC.com.
All right, there we go. Numa Life. NumaLifeNC.com. So make sure you check that one out as well. We got
Yeah,
we got two of them there. Go ahead, Doc.
Yep. And so I also have my book, The Marketing Mindset, that's going to be coming out probably the end of I'm looking at the release dates now, probably the end of this month or either September, middle of September. And so the Marketing Mindset really talks about the mindset that you as the creator, content creator, or business owner needs to have, but also understanding the mindset of your consumer. Because many times we don't understand their mindset, the buying psychology. There's a buying psychology that's different for somebody that shops at Neiman Marcus for clothing versus somebody that shops at Walmart for clothing, right? Different mindsets. And so understanding that helps you identify that audience and understand where to find them at, right? Where do they, so we talk about even demographics and really helping that initial business owner or startup entrepreneur that's just starting out really get to the point where they understand their audience and understand that even their mindset, your mindset can't be a one-time thing and feel like, okay, I've marketed one time, I did a postcard or I did a Facebook ad one time and I'm just going to become a millionaire. No, it's an investment mindset.
There it is.
And so I talk about the investment mindset as it relates to our marketing, that it's a continual thing. Most businesses or what have you, they'll pull back on their marketing efforts when business is not doing well. In fact, that's when you need to be marketing even more.
Double down.
And so really sharing those nuggets or what have you in the book is real powerful. And you can go to themarketingmindsetbook.com if you want to order the book or what have you as well.
And this is what I'll do. Family. What I'll do is I'll make sure to get these links from him and then just include them in the description. So if you come back and my replay squad, probably by the time you guys come through, we would have already had it there ready to go. So definitely want to set that up. I only shop Adidas and oh man. Doc, you got jokes tonight. Listen, this is what I want to say real quick right before we wrap it up. Man, you've been seeing this thing scroll on the bottom of the screen the whole time, man. And we talked about it in the earlier part of the show. Come on and jump in the Zoom room with us for the after party. I've got the link up on the screen right now. Convos and Collabs after party 8/16 with Jamain Freeman. You can grab your ticket right over there on buymeacoffee.com/KirkRNugent. Jamain, I'm going to say this again. I cannot thank you enough for coming through to Convos and Collabs, talking to the How It All Works audience, and just sharing from a very real place, from your expertise and your experiences. Thank you so much, Doc.
Man, no problem at all, man. I appreciate the invitation, man. Looking forward to getting you on one of my shows as well.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir.
Don't go nowhere. We're gonna jump in the after party in just a second. Let me go ahead and wrap this thing up. Oh man, let me hit let me hit the right one. Family, it has been our pleasure to have you. I see some of the comments coming through here. I say y'all go ahead and collab on marketing with Alter Live. I'm gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do for the collab question. We ran out of time before we could get that part in, but I wanted to say a word of thanks to all of you for coming out every week, hanging out with us. We got 2 more weeks. Stephanie Liu next week, Heather Ramirez the week after that, and we close out August very strong. September, we're gonna take a little bit of a break. But we're excited to be able to have you guys come and hang with us for all these weeks, Mondays, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. in the East, and that is 5 p.m. in the West. Convos and collabs, live streaming advice. It's your boy Kirk Nugent, the Geek Speaker Preacher, hoping that somewhere in the video today, we got you a little closer to figuring out how it all works. And we'll see you in the next video.